Okay, hello. Welcome to Drunk Doctor Who, episode 13, The Web Planet. Ooh, the first Doctor's 13th serial.
Red Letter Media. Half in the bag. Those are the YouTube channels.
Those are YouTube channels.
And then our movies.
No, it's another YouTube. No.
Funny.
I was telling you we need to see Pink Floyd's The Wall. Alright.
I don't know what that's. Here's our movie list.
Oh, good.
Moulin Rouge, The Blue Brothers,
the Weird Science,
The
Ruling Class.
They watch Hoot and I watch.
I showed you that. Natural Killers. Alright, write down Pink Floyd's The Wall. Wait till 10 knuckles. Alright. Anyway, The Web Planet was 6 episodes.
Did y'all know there's a movie about Pink Floyd's The Wall?
Maybe. Probably no. I left this before. Alright.
So it's just me that doesn't.
Huh? What are you talking about? Alright. It was 6 episodes. Shown from February 13th, 1965 to March 20th, 1965. It's a really, really weird serial. Animus. No, the Zardi aren't really, it's the Animus. Alright. Anyway, we're still in the first Doctor, and the companions, as you see, are Ian, Barbara, and Vicky. The antagonists, mostly the Animus. The Zardi are hive mind ants, giant ants controlled by the Animus. When the Animus goes away, they're not controlled. No, the Menoptera are good guys.
They tried to kill Barbara in the
No,
episode.
No, but they're good guys. They're good guys. The Menoptera are good guys. The main bad guy is the Animus. The bad intelligence or whatever, but the Animus. If you can read his handwriting. Animus.
Aptera are an offshoot of the Menoptera.
Right, but they're still not bad guys. They're good guys. That's antagonists.
Okay, and then that's for reference.
Okay, alright. Anyway, the Doctor, Ian, Barbara, and Vicky land on the planet, and this serial is kind of hard to watch because it's all done with this weird lens effect.
They put Vaseline on it.
Yeah.
Or intentionally blurred it.
Right. In the same way in the old days, they put Vaseline on the lens in order to make things softer focus, like they did in Aunt Mame.
Ant-Man?
No, Aunt Mame.
The Ant-Man.
No, AUNTMAME. Aunt Mame.
Should that be on the movie list?
No, God, no, it's a bad movie. But it had what's her name? Lucille Ball.
I like Lucille Ball.
Okay, but she was like almost 70 when they made this movie.
I heard she went crazy.
I heard she's redheaded.
She had metal feelings in her teeth, and she said that they picked up radio signals from the Russians, and she could hear their. She's kind of kooky in her older age.
Okay, well, many people do.
But I thought she's real cool.
Yeah, but anyway, so in that movie, if you ever watch it, they put so much. They make it such a soft lens to try and make a 65-year-old woman beautiful that it's like focus on the man. Okay, normal. Focus on her. Super Vaseline soft lens to make her look pretty because she was almost, she was 60-something.
Lucille Ball was?
Yeah, and they tried to make her look beautiful, and it just doesn't work at that.
Hatter, what are we drinking today?
Okay, you're drinking Cayman Jack Margarita, and I'm drinking True Gold vodka.
Well, he's not drinking Russian Standard.
No, they were on Russian Standard. They need more Russian Standard. All right. Docs
ran out of Russian Standard?
That's the one I go to, right?
Yeah, Docs.
Docs on Quaker University. Get more Russian Standard.
You drank all their Russian
Standard. I drank all the Russian Standard. Well, they were just out and they're waiting for some more from the distributor. The hurricane messes with the distribution.
Right, yeah, that's why my new uniform.
Right, that's why your uniform's in here. Cause
I got a new uniform. It doesn't fit.
all the shipping on the East Coast got messed up by, what was the name of that hurricane?
I don't know. Atlanta.
No, Carolinas, North and South Carolina. It was Hurricane something. Anyway, So the hurricane messed with the shipping, and so I don't have my favorite vodka, but this is pretty good, but it's more expensive and it's about the same, so I prefer Russian Standard.
You didn't make your martini.
No, I just been drinking straight vodka.
Are your martinis shaken and not stirred?
Actually, they usually are, yeah. But it's not because of Bond. Well, it's because that's why I got a shaker, you know? But I'm not using vermouth anymore because I'm on keto. Anyway, so I hit 198 today. So yay. No, yesterday, so yay. Anyway, so the keto is working. It would work faster if I didn't drink, but I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, I'm getting there eventually anyway. What are you... What?
So the viewers can...
Yo, viewers just heard me. Anyway, we got like 14 viewers. All right.
It's a milestone. We should celebrate.
Yeah.
Get a cake to celebrate.
No, we don't want cake when you're on keto.
I'll give you a cake. Congratulations on your diet.
Good. Here's a cake you can't eat. Right. So anyway, they land on this planet and...
Vortis.
Vortis, yes.
Planet Vortis.
And they run into the Zarbi. And the Zarbi, these giant ants, and you can see the people's feet and controlling them. And they've got these larva guns.
Great costumes, very.
Oh, yeah, Doctor
silicone-y.
Right, but amazingly, it was actually pretty good effects for the money and the budget they had. They did a lot with nothing.
Speaking of the effects, the first intro shot, they're using the miniatures as they usually do. They make the miniature, and they have the miniature TARDIS zone in. Miniatures have come such a long way with technology now. Have you seen modern day miniatures? They look so lifelike. You can't even. Do they ever go back to using miniatures in future episodes?
Everything's CGI, it seems.
Yeah.
These
I feel
days.
like everyone leans to CGI, but I think miniatures are so lifelike now. I don't.
Right. Well, there's only a few movies where they go to what they call practical effects, which are actual effects
I really like
as opposed to CGI.
Effects.
Right, and that was one of the things about the latest Mad Max movie, Fury Road, because it was almost all practical effects except the storm in the background.
It's amazing, and the thing about CGI is you can almost always tell during they use CGI for scenery and they blend stuff in, and that's really unintelligent. You can't notice with background CGI and stuff.
Right,
but when they use it for the action scenes and big focal points, it kind of has that uncanny valley feel to it, and always brings you out of the illusion.
It depends. If you use really good CGI like Avatar or Jurassic Park, you can't tell, except you know that it couldn't exist otherwise.
Right.
If you use poor CGI, you can tell, like in The Matrix Reloaded, the scene between
when they had a million
Agent Smiths, right? You can tell that was CGI. If they use good CGI, you can't tell, except your brain knows that can't exist. If you use poor CGI, then you do know.
Did you see the new Avengers movie?
The latest one?
Yeah.
The one where half the people die.
Yeah, spoiler.
Yes. Everybody's seen it. What are you talking about?
But Thanos looks so good.
Okay, and I'm not going to see the second one.
Why?
I like that ending.
You like
Thanos winning and having... Let the bad guy win every once in a while, you know?
But still, you should just pretend it's an alternate universe.
I'm cool. That's it. I'm good. I'm cool. You know.
It's they wrote a Transformers comic where the Decepticons won, and I thought it was like an alternate universe. You had Autobots and Decepticons, and the Decepticons killed everyone. It was really cool. I thought, that's cool. The bad guys won for once.
I don't know Transformers. All right, but anyways, in the next movie that the current people who are alive are going to save the day, but they're going to reverse who died, and the people who died in the first one will live, and the people who lived in the first one will die.
Because they're all trapped in the Soul Stone. They're going to bring them all back.
Well,
except for Loki, probably.
Right, but the people who are alive are going to die, because all the older actors who've been playing the parts, like, what's his face, Iron Man.
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. doesn't want to be Iron Man anymore. He survived, but he'll die in the sequel. The same thing, Captain America. He survived, but the Bucky kid died, right? Well, no. In the next movie, they're going to reverse it. Everyone who lived is going to die, and everyone who died is going to live. So you're going to have what's his name? The mage guy.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. The Strange who dies is going to come back because he's a new character. Whereas all the old characters who lived will die because it's their time to be done. Their stories have been told. But all the young characters who died are going to come back.
You won't know that until you see the
No,
second one.
I know it now. It's like I told my wife when I saw.
one.
Okay, I told my wife when I saw Episode 7 of Star Wars. I said they killed off Han Solo. You know they're going to kill Luke Skywalker in the next one. She said no. And you know what? They killed Luke Skywalker in the next one. It's so stupidly obvious what they're gonna do.
Can we talk about how they didn't kill Princess Leia in that one?
Yeah,
but they could have so easily. That would have been such a great climax for her characters.
Right. The actress died.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher, right, from the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
But no, she married Poppins into the stupid spaceship. And no, because women don't die, men die. Women always live, and you can't kill them all.
But then Carrie Fisher passed away, and it's real sad. But they could have brought her character to that conclusion, that emotional climax of the son kills his mother.
Amazing.
And they could have edited that in, but they're like, oh no, she finished her filming and she lives, so we'll just keep that in.
And they're gonna CGI her.
And now she's not gonna. And I hate when they do that because they did the same thing in Rogue One, the prequel, where they CGI'd Moff Tarkin back in, with the CGI Moff Tarkin face.
Okay, I've seen Episode 7, and that was it. I'm not watching anymore.
Yeah, I think we're just done. Good. I haven't seen the Solo film.
I haven't seen any of that crap afterwards because 7 was so bad. I was like, I looked through the prequels. I thought nothing could be worse than the prequels, and this is worse. Anyway, Doctor Who. Okay, so they
go all related sci-fi.
That's true. Star Trek and then Star Wars would not exist had it not been for Doctor Who. Most likely. We cannot say that definitively, but most likely.
That's a good argument.
There's a lot of truth to it. Right.
It really brought sci-fi into the limelight.
Exactly, and made it reasonably mainstream. There were previous science fiction movies, oh, come on, what's the one with Family Robertson? Yeah, what was the Lost in Space.
Yes.
And things like Forbidden Planet.
Is that the one with Hal? I can't let you do that.
No, God. Hal is 2001: A Space Odyssey. Fantastic movie, but 1960.
That's in color, yeah.
Right, 1969? No, 68. 1968. That was after Doctor Who. Okay. And Stanley Kubrick, my second favorite director. Love Stanley Kubrick. Anyway, so they land on the planet Vortis. And they end up running into the Menoptera, which are these moth-like creatures.
They look like yellow jackets, but they act like moths.
Right, but they're basically moths.
Yeah, some flashlights.
And they're trying to retake their planet from the Animus. What was it also called?
The Optera called it something else.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so they're trying to retake their planet.
I don't know what they called it.
From the Animus, which is this dark, intelligent life form that sort of spreads throughout. It's intelligent, and it sort of spreads throughout the planet slowly but surely. And it took over the Zarbi, which used to be kind of pets and part of the ecological system of Fortress.
They refer to them as cattle.
Right. It's sort of a pet-like nature, you know.
So the Zarbi have an offshoot called the larvae. Well, I
don't think it's an offshoot. I think it's a separate species.
And they also have a Menoptera, which they have an offshoot of the Optera.
Right.
Which are the Menoptera, but they're driven underground, so then they got deformed or something, where they didn't have wings.
Okay. Hold on. Okay, so this one is kind of weird to watch, and this is why I very rarely watch The Web Planet, is because not only do they have the weird effect on the screen of everything being kind of elongated and
it's blurry.
A little blurry, but the plot is incredibly convoluted. And it's very alien. So the Menoptera, the moth-like creatures, are trying to reclaim their planet from the Animus, who's taken over the control of the Zarbi, which were the ant-like creatures. And then
the
there's prawn, crawfish-like creatures way down underneath, which are called the Optera, which are descendants of the Menoptera, even though they're like crawfish, prawns, and the Menoptera are like moths. And you're trying to work the two good ones together and save the Zarbis from the Animus by killing the Animus with the isotope.
They turned it into. They added more syllables.
Yeah. It's like the people who sing the national anthem and they add several syllables to Home of the Brave. Home of the Brave. Yeah. Isotope. Yeah.
They even put a hyphen in the subtitles.
Sometimes, yeah, we watch the subtitles because the British accents. But anyway, yeah, so eventually the Doctor is working against the Animus for the good guys, although the Animus has him hostage and uses him to find out where the good guys are coming down on the plateau. And he eventually...
Well, he didn't mean to tell the hive mind Animus, but he like accidentally played the recording when he had the piece of equipment.
At the last part,
he's kind of like hinting at it, but then he accidentally gave it all away.
Yeah. The Doctor, like I said, sometimes he's too coy for his own good.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about the ring, because...
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hold on. The plot. Okay. Okay. So the Doctor helps them, and they get this special isotope bomb to the heart of the Animus, the center, CENTRE, because it's British spelling. And they get to the heart, and they light off the bomb. The Animus dies, and the planet's back, and the Zarbi going back to being cattle or pets, and the Menoptera are able to land and reclaim the planet because they were on one of the moons. They were also brought there by the Animus, as well as the TARDIS, and also the Optera can come to the surface now. And
all three of them.
Yeah, and the Zarbi and the Menoptera and the Optera are all happy again with the Animus gone. Okay.
I'm hopping around the...
Yeah, like I said, it's a weird one to watch. If you watch it, drinking alcohol is probably good.
And the water comes up once the Animus dies.
Oh yeah,
the water
before that, any pools of liquid on the surface are acid.
Right.
Yeah, acid.
The water was under the surface, but because of the polar magnet.
Well, yeah. Once the Animus is gone, sucking out the energy,
and then the water came back out, which was apparently crucial to the Menoptera because they had a bunch of vegetation or something that used to be there. But then it all died because
of the acid.
Yeah. Well, it was just really barren after the. Oh, can we talk about the web though? I still don't know what the web is.
Hey, hold on.
It was the web. So the Animus came and it said that it made this dark evil web, and that had something to do with controlling the Zarbi, but also to spread the web. The Zarbi and
the Carcillus.
Yeah, the carcinome.
Carcinome.
More like fungus.
Right. Well, it's kind of a dome control center of webbing. Yeah, and hence the web planet. Because all the stuff was going underground with the roots and above ground with the carcinome.
So is it like a mind control device, or is it just like a hive mind sort of?
Well, yeah. You've seen Stranger Things, right?
No.
It's on Netflix, right? Yes, it's on Netflix. How do you not see? Okay. Anyway, same thing with Stranger Things. The roots underground.
Just watch The Office.
God!
I watched The Office and Friends, and that's about all.
Oh my
and now recently, The Good Place is what I've been watching.
Okay, good. I'm glad to like The Good Place. I love that show.
I'm on season 2 now.
Oh, cool! And you found out they go to hell. They're in hell, right?
They're actually in the bad place,
right? But spoilers. If you don't know by now, you're not gonna know. If anybody ever watches this, they should already know. But okay, when you get to the third season, maybe. I love the fact that each season is very distinctly different.
The second season is very different.
Right, and the third season is very different again. And I'm caught up to the latest episode on TV.
I buy like halfway through the third season.
About. I buy it on Amazon Prime, and I do it so that when an episode is broadcast, it immediately goes on Amazon Prime. You can watch it immediately as basically it's being released.
You buy the episode?
Well, I buy the season, and then as it comes out, it's put on there.
Do you think Amazon Prime's worth it? Do you like it?
I prefer physical medium, but for some things, Amazon Prime is better to see it as it's coming out.
Right.
Like,
no waiting.
Well, it's like with The Simpsons. I have all the Simpsons DVDs they've ever released for the seasons, right? Not the weird little compilations, but the seasons. But I also have been buying them on Amazon Prime, and I'll eventually own all of them on Amazon Prime because
The Simpsons on Amazon.
Right, because the physical medium they stop at season 20.
They just stopped printing it on
Right. They did 1 through 17, and they had put out 20 for the 20th anniversary. So you had a gap of 18 and 19, and the movie was between 18 and 19, but the movie was released. Right, the movie was released with the dome.
Did they just have the one donut? The one movie?
Yeah, one movie so far. There may be a second one. But so seasons 21 on have never been put on physical medium. But finally they were like, hey, we understand you want physical medium. So they released season 18 on physical medium, and they're going to release season 19 on physical medium. So you'll have 1 to 20, but I don't know if they're going to release anything past 20.
And it's 30 now?
Yeah, we're on season 30. So I own seasons 1 through 6. I own seasons 1 through 20 on physical, except 19 because they haven't released it yet.
And 18?
No, they've released 18 finally.
Okay.
And the movie. And I own 1 to 6 and 21 to 29. No, 28 on digital. And I'll flash out the rest of the digital as I can.
Is that very expensive, buying it on Amazon? Well, like, what's the price of a season?
I just Uber and then use that money for that. And I'm still saving up some Uber for the TV.
TV fund.
Yeah, TV fund. $700.
We're gonna get a new TV. What kind of TV?
I want to get a Sony 4K.
4K. Oh, wow.
4K. I think it's a 65 inch with super black colors. It's gonna be like $2,500.
Is 4K really worth it?
It looks gorgeous.
Because I feel like I can't even see past 1080p. Like, what is it? My eyes can't even.
Well, okay, yes, past a certain point, say about 6 to 7 megapixel ratings, depending on your vision, you cannot tell the difference on a TV.
I can't.
Okay, or on a picture. You can't see it until it's blown up big enough. But with the rate TVs are getting bigger, okay, the megapixel rating then will come into effect because you can, as it gets bigger, you can start telling the difference in quality again. Like on a small picture, it doesn't have to be that clear, you can't tell the difference. But as it continues to get bigger, it starts to get grainy. This, wipes out the graininess and makes it just 4K. Gorgeous. A 4K TV looks like reality. I'm looking at you.
It's like a window.
That's what a 4K TV looks like.
You should have like a screensaver that just looks like a window going outside. You won't be able to
and they've done that, But so yeah. But anyway, so I'm saving up my my extra money and some of my extra Uber money when I do above the TV fund, because I do that on the side, and if I get $100 a week, it goes to TV fund. If I get like $140 TV fund, and I can buy a season or two of The Simpsons, because the earlier stuff's like $20 each. The later stuff like $29 and $30 or $35.
Do you watch Game of Thrones on Amazon?
I did.
Is that about the same price? Because I started watching the Game of Thrones, and then it just got too expensive for me.
Well, I had a friend who kept buying the box sets, and I was watching with him. I mean, Game of Thrones is tits and dragons. And who doesn't like tits or dragons? I mean, I love them both, so.
Lots of violence.
Yeah, and I like the little dwarf. What's his name?
Yeah. One of the Tyrions.
Tyrion. Wait.
Tyrion? Is it Lannister? Tyrion Lannister? It's one of the Tyrions.
I think so.
Tyrions.
I think it's Tyrion Lannister. But the dwarf guy, right?
Yeah.
I love him. He's my favorite character.
In the new Avengers movie. He was the giant in the.
Oh, you're right. Oh,
you're right.
But I like that guy.
He played the giant dwarf.
I like that character and that actor. He was.
Oh, he's so intelligent and witty and.
The character, right? But the actor was also in Oh, what was that movie with the water boy? What's his name?
Oh, Adam Sandler?
Adam Sandler had a movie recently with the video games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Where
the Pac-Man and
right, the dwarf kid.
the alien invaders.
Yeah, and he was the cheater. He was the bad guy. Spoilers. Anyway, if you ever watch any of our episodes, just spoilers across all.
I heard that movie wasn't good.
No Adam Sandler movie has been good for like 15 years. But
I like Click. Click was a good movie.
yeah, and how long ago was that?
I don't know.
Yeah, 15. Christopher Walken was in that one.
I tried seeing.
I love Christopher Walken.
What's the one where he plays a twin?
I
I didn't even get through that one.
Okay, Jack and Jill.
Yeah.
Oh,
I heard that was. I tried
so
watching the
bad.
first one.
And what's his name? Al
Because it had
Pacino.
Al Pacino in it. I'm like, how can it be bad if it has Al Pacino in it?
It was so bad.
It was really bad.
I'm Al. Al Pacino? No, Dunkachino. Here I am, Dunkachino. Oh, it's bad. Anyway, so okay, so two things. A whole we gotta catch those things. All right. Doctor with the ring.
Yeah, the ring.
The ring. So the doctor has a ring. It's on the same. The doctor has a ring which he uses to open the TARDIS when all the power's gone.
Is it really on the head, or do they sometimes the image gets reversed?
No, it was on his right hand, like a high school or a college ring on your right hand. Anyway, so he has the ring on his right hand, and he uses it to open. The ring has special properties. He uses it to open the TARDIS even when all the power's off, and he uses it later to control a Zarbi through the gold conduit collar. After he reverses the control on it.
Using the astral map.
Yes, blowing out part of it using the astral map. Yeah, like I said, it's a weird serial. They don't make it quite this alien again, with a possible exception of the Daleks' master plan.
Is that one pretty? Alien? Well, by that, at that point, you've reintroduced the Daleks so many times that you can really delve into the Daleks, alien nature of it, right? Because you're familiar with most things already.
But with the Daleks' master plan, it introduces a whole bunch of other races in the Galactic Council, which we've never seen before. Right.
But at that point, are you not, more familiar with it, with the Daleks, that you can adjust to?
Daleks, but not everything else.
Does it really come across the same ways? It's just too much.
Well, once again, the Daleks' master plan is 3 surviving episodes and 9 reconstructed. That doesn't help.
This is real confusing.
Right. Anyway, so he uses the ring to control Zarbi after he uses it to open the TARDIS doors. It's sort of a special latch key.
This is just like a power, like a generator, like it powers things?
We don't know. It never comes up again. In all of Doctor Who, this ring never shows up again, and it's sad. Because it would have been perfect during Capaldi. Because Capaldi had that ring to hide his wedding ring.
Oh, right.
Capaldi's not on that.
Because he wanted to take his wedding ring off, so they just made one.
Capaldi was awesome.
Does it even look like the same ring, or is it a different one?
No, and it's on the different hand. But it would have been amazing to use that as the ring.
Yeah.
Capaldi is the 12th Doctor, who's not on there. And he, a proper man, would not take off his wedding ring even for the role, and so they put Fireproof,
the movie.
So they put another ring over that ring, and he wore that over his wedding ring. But that way he had his wedding ring on. But it would have been amazing if they'd used that as the same ring as Hartnell had. But like I said, it never comes up again.
So they just when Capaldi's wearing the ring, do they just not mention it? They just don't.
He's just got a ring on. Yeah, the different doctors have different fashion sense, and Capaldi's
like the question marks.
Oh yeah, the celery. Yeah. Davison, the celery.
What is there an explanation behind that, or is that?
There is, but it's just messed up. It's just odd. And
it's kind of like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where they explain things, but it doesn't make sense.
Like it's just fun. What's the word for it? Spurious logic. Spurious logic.
Silly.
Yeah, I love the ring. Okay. And there's a point in the show, you had pointed that out. I had noticed it before, but I forgot about it. Where one of the Zarbi bumps into the camera and the camera shakes.
That happened in the very last serial too. During the Romans, they bumped the camera.
I
They seem to do that a lot.
Wait, I forgot about that. Yeah, I don't
It's
remember.
very jarring.
I don't remember much about our last podcast.
Yeah, roll drunk last.
But I did. Half the time I remember these, and half the time I don't.
It
So
took a
half
while
the
to
time I'm seeing it when you are, huh?
It took a while to settle in.
Did it?
Yeah, you're pretty sober until the very end.
And then the stuff kicks in, and I'm like, I'm gone.
Yeah, I know. I drink Russian Standard and the. Me too.
But it's really weird with the keto diet because it takes a long time for it to affect me, but when it does, it's like boom, you know.
Oh, because of the diets.
Because of the keto, I think. I don't know.
Do you think that makes you more susceptible to alcohol?
Well, I think it makes me less susceptible to
Less
low levels.
Oh,
when it gets to the high levels, boom,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
So I'm immune. I think I'm great. I think I'm great. All right. What were your other questions?
This cereal was really spooky. It fits in well with October.
Yeah.
Halloween coming up.
Because it's October 22nd.
Do they ever talk about Susan again? Do they ever reference her in the future? Or have we just forgot about her as a companion? Do they just move on?
They do occasionally reference her, but generally
Is that just
speaking,
with Hartnell, or do they reference her like later on? Right, Hartnell? That's the...
They occasionally reference, the doctor occasionally references the fact he had children and even grandchildren. But they almost never reference Susan by name at this point.
So does that mean he has a wife or had a wife? Do they mention that?
Okay. Yes and no. Okay, if you go by the TV show, never a mention of a wife previously. But the doctor gets a wife later on.
In the movies?
No. In the modern stuff. In series 6 and 7.
Like a new wife. He gets
A new
married.
wife. He marries. I won't spoil it for you, but he does marry somebody in the 21st century stuff in series like 6, 7 or somewhere there.
Because he had a romantic interest in the Aztec.
In the
episode.
Aztecs, yeah. And in theory, he's had at least one wife previously, but we don't know absolutely for sure. Partly because in the books,
they have books.
Oh God!
Oh, that's like a whole new universe.
No, don't mess with the books. We're talking the show. Forget the books. But in the books, Time Lords are created not by sexual procreation. They're created by this DNA weaver that makes Time Lords. So you don't even need to procreate.
That's like going against the fact that he had granddaughters and daughters.
Right, but the books aren't canon, at least insofar as we're dealing with. And in the TV show, apparently later on they show the Doctor's father and mother.
Oh.
So it implies that they actually had sex and had a child. So it implies that he has a granddaughter, which we're not absolutely sure she's his granddaughter, but we believe as such, that he had a wife and children and then grandchildren. But we don't know. They never mention the wife's name. They never mention any details whatsoever besides the fact he's Susan's grandfather.
Maybe he adopted her.
See, that's the problem. We don't know. but the problem is she shows Time Lord qualities several times. So Susan does. Well, yeah, like with the Sensorites, when she hears them, that's that whole telepathy thing is very Time Lordish.
Because the Doctor's a Time Lord. Why did he hear the Sensorites? Does he
once again? Yes, and the Doctor shows his mind powers on many occasions.
Just later
on. But Time Lords may have different.
Is that because he's old in this one, or just?
Well, they may have different talents in different areas.
Oh, okay.
In this one, in the Web Planet, Vicky, because she was young, was able to hear the talking of the Zarbis.
Clicking.
Right, when Barbara, the Doctor, and Ian could not.
Kind of like Close Encounters with the Third Kind, how they communicated and they had the weird.
Well, kinda. Kinda. Yeah.
Or bugs. But at some points, only Vicky was able to hear the Zarbies. But then the Zarbies got real loud, and then everybody heard them in the theaters. It was real loud.
Yeah. Okay. So this is selenite, Celenite, I believe, and I just happened to have this because I like it because it was in a really bad movie forever ago called Nightfall. Really bad movie. This is what they made the weapons out of, right? Because they didn't have really metal.
Was it that size, or did they have like big swords?
Well, they had more short swords and daggers. It's hard to find a really big piece of selenite.
Is selenite very
one of the
expensive?
biggest pieces I've found, huh?
Is that very expensive, selenite, to get?
This piece is not actually. I got it at the Texas Renaissance Festival, but I got it because of that other movie, right?
Right.
Anyway, it looks like that this is what the weapons for the Menoptera and the Optera were made out of.
Or like plastic reconstruction.
Well, for the show, it was plastic.
Because the Menoptera used big sword-like things, and then the Optera used like the short one, the
dirks.
Menoptera had like really big sword.
Right, but it looked like this. It looked like selenite.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be this,
and
except they couldn't afford it.
Even the set pieces, they had the big selenite mountains, and then the temple that was carved out of the selenite mountain.
Right, and it looked just like this, except it was a little more see-through, or a good bit more see-through, which...
Except for like the outside set pieces.
Right,
just like this big selenite.
Right, so I just happened to have this, and I was like, oh, I recognize that.
That's a good visual aid,
yeah. Kind of like for the Aztecs, I had the obsidian dagger.
Yeah. Did we show that on camera?
Yes, we did, which
good.
I got from Ichenia, which from the Aztecs,
He's such a cool person.
It's funny. I love to travel. I travel a lot. Yeah. So, what other questions do you have?
ADJ, atmospheric distortion jackets. Did
this
ever come into play? They kind of ditched those real quick.
Yeah, when the Doctor and Ian go out into this place because the atmosphere is so thin, they wear these jackets, kind of look like flak vests, but they are atmosphere distortion jackets, which are kind of like oxygen masks filtered up through the jacket so they can breathe better. But they only last about an hour or so.
Yeah, that seems kind of useless.
Well, it's good for an hour or so. I mean,
You think the Doctor would have better technology?
Well, it's like an
It's
oxygen.
not even like oxygen mouthpieces. It's just like these little funnels at the chest.
Yeah, but it's like when you take an oxygen tank underwater. It's only going to last so long, and then you have to surface, Yeah, and then they had to cope with the atmosphere as it was once the oxygen ran out, or once their tanks ran out.
Morphetized, that's what they called it. They mind controlled the Zarbies.
Yeah.
Did they have little things on their forehead, or was that just what their foreheads looked like? It looked like they had.
I think it's what just their foreheads.
I thought they had like little control
They may have had
panels.
ridges or bumps, but I don't think they were control panels.
Okay.
I think they were natural.
So
to
the
Zarbies.
The Animists used the web to mind control the Zarbies.
And gold, specifically gold to mind control people.
Well, yeah, they used gold to morphetize people, but they didn't morphetize the Menoptera that they were using to use the carcinome into the acid river to spread the web.
Okay, right. The Menoptera that were caught, as well as Barbara who was caught, were used as slave labor to take the fungus, the plankton and stuff, the vines and things, to put it in the acid vats, so it would take the nutrients back to the carcinome.
Well, they said the carcinome grew like fungus.
Right. They take the fungus and they would take the nutrients back to the carcinome so that it could grow bigger and spread the animus over more of the planet.
And then we talked about the isotope and the Pictos was another planet where the Optera were at. Was that one of the moons?
It was one of the moons, yeah, because when the animus showed up, she pulled like
magnetic pull to pull the moon.
Yeah.
Why did she pull the moons in, or is that just a
it's never explained.
A lot of things I feel like
it's Doctor Who.
Speaking of which, you had a great explanation of when the Menoptera ran into the one. Okay, so the Menoptera. This was episode 6 or 5. Episode 5.
Mm-hmm.
The Menoptera. They have the isotope. They're trying to invade into the center of the hive mind.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the mind-controlled Zarbi, and then the unmind-controlled Zarbi shows up, and they try to get the Zarbi to sound an alarm so that the
other Zarbi will come.
So the larvae gun will come out, so they can do something with that. And they do this weird shrieking dance with the Zarbi, and the Zarbi's charging at Barbara. The Barbara goes Zarbi, and then the Zarbi charges at Barbara, and then the other. I was just very confused by that.
Right. Well, I explained it might have been the way that they used to talk to the Zarbi in the old days.
Yeah.
Like you talk to a dog, you know, It's like, here lassie, that kind of stuff, you know, whistles of,
here boy.
Here boy. So you call the dog to you, or the Zarbi to you, and I think the Zarbi instinctively recognized that. So,
sorry, what were you saying?
But anyway, so they got the Zarbi to do what they wanted, which was go back and bring in the reinforcements to pull them out of the carcinome, so the Doctor and Vicky could infiltrate it further with the isotope. Right. That's the deflection.
That makes more sense to me now.
Yeah. You know, the Normandy invasion. They sent a whole bunch of signals to the Germans that they were going to come up further north, and so the Germans reinforced further north. And then when they hit Normandy, the Germans still thought that was the feint, F-E-I-N-T. The
feint, right? In World of Warcraft, that's what rogues that ability that
it's a feint, and that's what they did in here. A mock attack is a feint, and then you come in with a real attack. So they thought Normandy was the feint, because the actual feint had convinced them it was further north. So they hit Normandy, and the Germans were like, no, that's not the real thing, until they were basically overrun. And then they were like, oh, okay, that's real. We'll send the reinforcements down there, because they had reinforced up north. Same thing with here. They came in and had the feint in the north, or the south, and then, so everyone went to the south, and then they sent the isotope and everything in from the north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I really like your explanation of how, their weird shrieking dance didn't make much sense to me, where they're messing with the Zarbi. And it makes more sense now, because the very last episode, once the Zarbis are freed from the mind control, they sort of do that same thing again once they're, back to docile cattle-like creatures.
Pets.
They kind of do that thing again. And they have a lot of weird body language, and and they're really ballet-ish. And they hiss a lot too, the Menoptera.
Yeah, like
especially when they disagree.
Well, yeah, I think it's them showing posture, and dominance. The same way some men will do it by getting in your face, like really getting in your face.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for us.
I'll go.
It's different cultures, do it different ways.
Yeah, good stuff. The Animus at one point spoke of invading other planets. She wanted to absorb the information of the Doctor and Vicky and Barbara and Ian, so that she could learn about Earth, and then go to Earth and take over the humans and learn about their knowledge and their mastery of space travel. So do you think that hints at the writers and the directors, were they planning on making the Animus like a recurring villain like the Daleks were? And if so, did that not work out because this episode just was kind of, convoluted and confusing and
I think
not as popular as they thought it would be?
I think they just wanted the threat. They weren't planning on making anything. In fact, later on, we get something that does that called the Great Intelligence. We'll run into that later.
Okay.
Yeah. But the Animus they just wanted the threat.
They're just building.
We absorb your knowledge and we utilize it, kind of like the Borg, right? We absorb your knowledge, we utilize it, and we'll come back at you later with your own knowledge. And especially if the Animus had gotten a hold of the Doctor's Time Lord knowledge, it would have been bad.
Right.
But
she did.
But yeah, she died.
we say she because it was a feminine voice given for the animus. But she's trying to absorb and obtain, and that's a frequent occurrence on Doctor Who.
And writing.
And what?
This is in my great handwriting.
You're horrible handwriting.
A little
rewrite it. All right. But so absorbing the all the knowledge and everything of the Doctor, and this happens many times later on. That same style of theory that if we can get a hold of the Doctor's knowledge, we can conquer the universe. And it's the Doctor fighting the enemy to keep his knowledge.
So that's a pretty prevalent threat within the Doctor Who universe, is the Doctor's knowledge being captured by these villains. So that being said, you said the Doctor, as a Time Lord, is allowed to roam freely in the Annus because the Time Lord Council calls on his aid from time to time. They're like, "Hey, Doctor, we need you to help us out with this." And because he helps them, he's obligated to help them because they let him, just travel and go on his adventures. Do you think, they just don't recognize that threat? Why do they just let him roam free when his knowledge is kind of a threat to the universe?
Well, because, alright, first of all, you don't know when you're going to encounter something to be able to absorb your knowledge to do that. Second of all, yeah, he's kind of, most Time Lords like to live on Gallifrey and just, their planet's Gallifrey, we haven't hit it in the show, we'll hit it later, and be part of the Time Lord Society. But there are just a few who like to roam the universe, and most of them those few are allowed to, if they are good guys and do what the Time Lords want them to on occasion, like the Doctor. And there's a couple bad guys who've turned against the Time Lords, like the Master and what is her name?
Evil Time Lord lady.
Well, yeah, she's an evil Time Lord lady. That's exactly what she is. But what is her name? Anyway, the Master, the Valeyard, which is supposed to be a later incarnation of the Doctor, which we'll see later. Hold on.
Is that up?
Wait, we're way down here. What is her name? My stinking goodness. Ronnie. Anyway, and the Ronnie. And they're kind of bad guy Time Lords, the Master, the Ronnie, and the Valeyard. And the Doctor fights them as well as other bad things in the universe. And the Ronnie only shows up for 2 serials. And as an odd note, there's a sidekick in the Sarah Jane Adventures, and her name is Ronnie. But it's because she's Indian. Not American Indian, but Indian, right? And it's like, that's weird in the Doctor Who universe, but sure, whatever. But yeah.
She's a Time Lord that's Native American Indian?
No. The Ronnie in Doctor Who is a bad guy female Time Lord. Ronnie, as a sidekick for Sarah Jane, is just an earthling Indian.
Sarah Jane.
British, a British subject who has Indian origins.
Right. And Sarah Jane, that's the newest female Time Lord? And who's
Okay, Sarah Jane Smith is a companion to the Doctor.
So the companion has a companion?
Okay, I'll explain. Right. Sarah Jane Smith is a companion to the Doctor, and she is one of the most beloved companions of all time, along with Captain Jack and
Ian.
I love Ian.
I like him.
But no. Come on. No, the one in the kilt. You haven't seen it yet. No. Yes. I've got a whole video explaining the companions for Doctor Who. It's on this channel.
Was that our first video, or that was the second video?
That was my second one.
That was
first
the one
was
that was
History of
supposed to
Doctor
be
Who.
the two-parter.
Right. Well, no, it was supposed to be a one-parter, but the camera ran out of memory. McCrimmon. Jamie McCrimmon
Yeah, he wears a kilt. He's with the second Doctor for pretty much the entire second Doctor's reign, tenure. Anyway, so Jamie, Sarah Jane, Captain Jack, these are some of the best of all the companions. And Sarah Jane Smith was a companion with the third Doctor and the fourth Doctor. And she was so popular that she was in the very first spin-off show, Kanan and Company, ran just the pilot, and later on in the 21st century, she got her own spin-off show, the Sarah Jane Adventures. So she is the kind of lead of that show, and the Doctor shows up once in a while, and she has 3 companions. She has 3 assistants.
So it's kind of like Teen Titans and Young Justice. It's like
I guess so. She's like
the
50.
companion as a
Right, she's like 50 something.
A spin-off show.
A spin-off show, right. And the kids are in their teens, all of them. And one of the teen kids
Is the name
from the second series onwards is called Ronnie.
Right.
She's English, British.
With the name
Right, but with an Indian heritage because the British controlled India for a long time. So
Indian,
a lot of
not Native American.
Right, not Native American India, but India, because the British controlled India, and a lot of them immigrated to the actual UK. Well, yeah, not all of them have the red dot.
Just the mid?
No, well, it depends on your religion and what you do. But it's like the really Orthodox people for Catholics on Ash Wednesday will have the Ash Cross, but not all.
Have you ever seen The Perks of Being a Wallflower?
Yeah.
There's a scene in that where he's Catholic and on Ash Wednesday he has the ash on it. He's dating that girl that's just really insensitive and he doesn't really like her because she's just oblivious. And he comes to school with his Ash Wednesday thing on his forehead. She's like, "You have something on your head," and she
Right. But
this is horribly offensive, but she doesn't really. She's just oblivious.
Right. But it's Orthodox. It's just very, very strict for that religion. Mm-hmm. So the very strict Orthodox Catholics will have the Ash on Ash Wednesday, but a lot of them won't bother. The more liberal ones won't bother. Same thing for the
dots.
The dots. Wait, what's it called?
Isn't it like a marriage thing or something?
Well, no. It's a religion. It's Christian, Jewish,
Hinduism. Hindu. But they wear it because of a marriage thing or something, don't they?
I don't know. But it's Hindu. I know it's Hindu and they wear the dot for Hindu. But not all of them do, I don't believe. It's the more Orthodox ones, yeah.
Devoted.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an eye of something or something, I don't know. Anyway, but Ronnie, not to be confused with the Ronnie, which is a Time Lord. Ronnie is just a kind of companion to Sarah Jane, the Sarah Jane Adventures. Yeah. Well, when the companion has her own show. Because by that point, Doctor Who, sometime during Tom Baker's era, it goes from a kid's show, even though all these people die all the time, to a family show.
Like the Optera that shoved its head into the
Yeah, exactly. But there's a scene during Tom Baker's deal where a plant literally chokes the life out of someone, like this. And during that episode, it goes from a children's show to a family show. And later on in the 21st century, they make the Sarah Jane Adventures to be this children's show. They still have the family show with Doctor Who, and then they make Torchwood to be the adult show.
Torchwood.
Yeah, Torchwood is very adult.
So
we're talking like lots of sexual tension, lots of gay and lesbian sex, and nudity, because Captain Jack has an amazing body. I kid you not. The actor that plays Captain Jack is like statuesque.
Just like you.
No, not. He's much better looking than I am. Okay, and Torchwood is an anagram for Doctor Who.
Oh, okay. I like those.
So you take Doctor Who letters and mix them up.
Where's the
Torchwood?
Where's the T come from?
Doctor.
Oh, okay. Oh, spelled out. I was thinking of the initials. Okay.
No. DOCOTOR
Okay,
WHO. Torchwood. TORCA.
Tom Riddle and Voldemort.
Yeah. Well.
Voldemort.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's cool.
All right. Okay. We are way off topic.
I can't.
What else do you have for?
That's our best. That's my best notes.
That's it.
The convolutedness of the what planet. Next episode is the Lion.
The
Crusade. Next serial is the Crusade. First episode.
Yeah.
The Lion.
All right. Yeah. Next episode is the Lion. We're still on it, but the next serial is the Crusade.
The Lion-hearted.
2 episodes exist and 2 do not. But the 2 that do not exist are reconstructed. And this is a perfect serial where they should animate the missing episodes because they've got 2 of them that exist and 2 that don't, but they haven't done it yet because the historicals are not as popular as the sci-fis. And this is the last regular historical. They still do historicals later on, but not as frequently as they did every other one during the prior time, the first 2 seasons. Well, this is still season 2, but starting with that, they start going mostly sci-fi with an occasional historical, like the Massacre of St. Bartholomew's Eve, and stuff like that. All right. Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, there's a lot of information to cover. There's a lot of words thrown around. Pretty convoluted. That was all my questions. We're a good hour into our podcast, and
Not like that.
we did a pretty good job of covering all that. Yeah.
All right.
But that's everything I got. Anything you'd like to say?
All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks because next week we're taking a week off.
Movie night.
Right, so I can show this Hanyak and his girlfriend and maybe some others. Hereditary.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you Hereditary.
Hereditary, spooky.
Scary movie. Because it's the Monday before Halloween.
Halloween, yeah. You're spooky. Thanks for joining us, as always.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you a week after next time.
Drunk Doctor Who.
Hanyak.
Hanyak.